With all the new CSS features, selectors, properties, and values available, how do we stay current and keep on top of everything? Are we expected to memorize every CSS selector, property, and value out there? The simple answer is no, we're not. Now, if you're anything like I was when learning how to code, there might be a point where you'll feel stuck when working on your first HTML and CSS projects. So before we begin writing CSS, I'm going to quickly cover helpful resources that will always have the most important and up-to-date information you'll need on a given CSS topic. One of the resources I constantly visit is the Mozilla Developer Network, or MDN docs, particularly the CSS reference. As we can see here, it's an extensive list of all the standard CSS properties, selectors, and CSS concepts in alphabetical order, and it gives us detailed information for each of them. So, for example, say I'm stuck on how to style a link on hover. Well, I can click on hover in this list, and then I'm presented with a summary on the hover selectors, then a few examples below that. There's even a browser compatibility chart at the bottom of the page. So it's a really handy reference you should keep close by when working on projects. Another comprehensive source is the web platform docs. Again, a lot of helpful information here about CSS topics. So let's say down the road, I hear about this cool new CSS function for making images grayscale. Well, I can go over to the CSS function section, then click grayscale, and all the information for the grayscale function comes up, along with other related topics. Now, over on the left of the page, you'll notice these readiness markers. This one indicates that it's ready to use. So that means the reference material on this page is complete and the information is accurate. Now, you might come across some that say almost ready, like we're seeing here, and this simply means that it's mostly complete and good of quality, but it's still missing a few things. Now, the neat thing about the web platform docs is that it's a community-driven site, so you can actually contribute to it if you'd like. And if you're looking for really specific information about CSS, you can read the actual specs from the World Wide Web Consortium, or W3C for short. The W3C is the group that develops and maintains web standards. So all the standard CSS features we use today had to be written up in a spec like we're seeing here and approved by the W3C. Even though these specs are mostly written for the browser implementers, it can still be a valuable resource for CSS authors and developers. Now, what's great about the Mozilla Developer Network docs and the web platform docs is that they distill a lot of that information for us. Finally, one of the most important parts about building for the web is keeping up with browser support. I'd say the canonical source for browser support information these days is caniuse.com. It provides up-to-date browser support information for all the front-end web technologies on desktop and mobile web browsers. So, say I want to know what the latest support for CSS gradients is. Well, I can find gradients in the list below, or I can go up here and start typing gradients, and there we have all the browser support information we need to know about CSS gradients. There's even a tab for notes, known issues, and helpful resources at the bottom of each chart. Throughout our exciting, ongoing learning journey, it's important to have good self-initiative. That means being able to find answers on your own, working on small projects that will help you retain what you're learning, and knowing when and how to ask for help when you're stuck. Self-initiative is one of the most valuable assets a web designer and developer can have. So what's the biggest takeaway here? Don't worry about memorizing every selector, property, or CSS value available. A solid understanding of the concepts and a reliable reference, combined with patience and an energetic self-initiative, will get you pretty far.